first feeling I had when I first took off with my brand new drone, it was a little mix of nervousness and excitement, because I'd watched tutorials and I could be prepared mentally as much as I could, but I still had never flown the thing, so it could have easily gone any which way. So I took it up, and it was just fulfilling almost, because I'd been wanting one for so many years. I was like finally getting it, and I had it set up, and I was ready, knew what to do, and I took it up and just flew it around my backyard for the first time. And it was a great time. It was super fun.
When I first saw a drone for the first time, I mean, like seeing any kind of a new gadget, you think, wow, this is awesome. I can't wait to learn what this is all about, and to learn how to fly this, or to learn to be able to how to use this in our field of study. But then it quickly goes from, man, I can't wait for a student to learn how to do this. I can't wait to teach a student how to lift off and to fly around with a drone, or to learn the rules of the road, and just get so excited for them to be able to work with this in their industry.
The first thing that came to mind, cool. Flat out cool. And I knew we had to get one on campus. The problem was I didn't know what the application would be. I didn't know how we would infuse it or how we would utilize it. I just knew that they were coming, and we had to get one here.
It's really important for Northeast Community College to implement drone use and drone instruction, because their future employers are going to be requiring it. No matter if they're working for a radio station that might want to get some video for their social media sites. It might be a TV station that needs that drone footage for the 6 o'clock news that night. You think about any type of field of study, you think about any type of profession. How could they not use drones? Now that this technology is here, what are ways that you can embrace that and being able to use that?
Without a drone, you're looking at renting a $5 million helicopter to get the same exact shots. So that's really not an option for us. So it's going to be a great asset in digital cinema. Utility Line program just got one, and that was a direct result of their advisory committee stating that that's something they need because they're already using those in the industry. You're looking at tower inspections, bridge inspections, roof inspections for insurance companies, disaster area inspections, where maybe power lines are down and roads are damaged or buildings are down and you can't get in there. You can get drones in pretty quick.
For the cinema students, great different point of view and perspective from the standpoint of getting those big cinematic wide shots that would otherwise be really hard to get.
I think in the manner that we've pursued the technology has excited the faculty. I've gotten a lot of good responses on it. They're all interested and willing to work with that technology. Students, that's been interesting. Anytime we've done a test flight on campus, we've always attracted a crowd.
With the advent of the drones that are a lot more affordable, what we're seeing is that in the cinema industry, more and more people are becoming qualified to fly drones, and so the background and the exposure of our cinema students to being able to fly them, use the footage, even know how and when to integrate that kind of footage is going to be really important to them down the road for employment and for their own business. Drones are, according to the FAA, a UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. They've been demonized in some circles by their weaponization. They've been demonized in some circles by some inappropriate amateur use with respect to spying and sort of that peeping Tom concept. While drones have gotten to be very stable and predictable, they're still controlled by two primary factors. One is the GPS lock, which means you're connecting with a variety of satellites to lock it in three-dimensional space, and so when you tell it to hover, it can. But it's also controlled by an operator's speed, altitude.
I know the drones that we have, we're supposed to stay under 400 feet. I know the particular models we have will go well over 3,000 feet, and we will not do that. The chances of running into something in this area aren't likely, but it could be disastrous if we did.
We recently did a shot, and we flew from the Chamber of Commerce to the Divots Convention Center. And as we're flying down Norfolk Avenue, we made sure we did it on a low traffic area. It looked like we were going to hit that roundabout pole there out west of town.
We're coming up, and it's like there's a huge light pole in the way. Like, we could really hit it if we're not keeping track of it. But then all of a sudden my phone just lags and then goes black. And I lost my sight. I probably still had control, but it's just that moment, like, what could happen if I don't know where it is or what it's doing?
From the camera, it looks really close, but from my perspective, we were easily 50 feet above it. But it's really hard to maintain that perspective. What you have is basically a platform that's aerodynamically unstable and kept so by the electronics. And if the electronics has a little hiccup, you have a problem. Problem manifests itself in the fact that you've got rotating blades that are rotating in the vicinity of 12,000 RPM, which sadly makes it like a flying Vegematic, and it's not safe to keep around people.
I think that the connotation, or the negative connotation for drones, is going to start to fade away within the next few years, but it's going to have to come with some experience. It's going to have to come with some examples of what we're actually using this for in a very positive way, and then I think it can change.
I got a drone license by going onto the FAA website, and they're really pushing it, so they had it on the front page of their website. Just followed those steps, probably took about 15 to 30 minutes, and just got registered and made sure everything was documented, and it was really easy.
If you have a camera on your drone or your airplane, perfectly legal to fly with that camera. Interestingly, the FAA has decided that as soon as you put that camera, that same camera, in that same flight, and turn it into a venture capital opportunity where you're trying to sell the footage, they're saying that has to be licensed.
It's important that we get it right, but we also push the envelope on it because it's changing so fast. And one of the hardest components of that is actually getting flight time for students. We don't have the capacity yet, but we will. To see it is one thing, to fly it is another.
It's going to be important that we all learn how to do this responsibly, that we know the rules, we know our parameters, we know where we should or should not fly.
I would recommend it just to somebody who just wants to have a different angle on their everyday life. Just your house, you can look it up on Google Earth, but there's just still, it's just different than being able to move around with it in a 3D space, and it's actually live and it's right there in front of you.
As long as we use drones safely, the sky is the limit.